So good morning everyone and welcome to this eve of match briefing with the team from Scotland here at the Stade de Nice. We have on the top table the defence coach Tandy and also two of the starting players tomorrow, Sione, Tuipulotu and Rory Darge. We're going to go immediately to questions from the room. Just a reminder, we are using our interpretation system, so if you could wait for the microphone please, and do give your name and the name of your media when invited. First question, please.
Thank you. Luke McLaughlin from The Guardian. A question for Steve, please. Tuipulotu spoke about Tonga feeling hungover. That was the word he used from their defeat. Do you think that makes him more dangerous, the fact that they're coming off a bad loss against Ireland?
Yeah, look, I think it gives them time as well to reflect. It's obviously a hit out as well. They didn't play the first week, so that will lead them into good focus. And ultimately, it's the World Cup. I think no matter whether you're coming off a win or a defeat, you've got to be focused. Otherwise, you get heavily punished. So I got no doubt they'll bring their A game, and we've got to be ready for that tomorrow.
Sione, we spoke to Charles Piatal of Celeste Piatal yesterday, and he singled you out as the star of Scotland, and Tonga will be focusing on you, which is a potentially painful compliment, I'm sure. How do you feel about that and taking on Tonga after sort of a bruising loss to Ireland?
No, I thought we've prepared really well this week, and we've known what's coming, for a couple of weeks now. And I think, like Steve says, that hangover period between games, we're still thinking like we've got over the South Africa game now, and we're ready to get our get back for that. And in terms of what Charles was saying, you've got to love that side of the game, and I'm hoping tomorrow that we rock up and we embrace that side of the game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Here in front row, please.
Sione, how are you feeling about playing Tonga, obviously your father's country?
Yeah, it's a tricky one because no matter how much you try and not think about it, it's always kind of there in the back of your mind. But I'm fully focused on, getting the victory for Scotland tomorrow, and I'm not sure it'll be emotional during the anthems and stuff. And of course, I've got a lot of love for Tonga and that side of my heritage. But tomorrow, I'm fully focused on doing my best to get a win for Scotland and get our World Cup back on the road.
How have you found the last 2 weeks in terms of recovering from South Africa, and how ready are you for tomorrow?
To be honest, I was really disappointed after the South Africa game, and it took me a couple of days. Probably took me a week to get over, but we're over that now, and we've done our reviews, and we're fully focused now on getting back into Tonga, and it's a perfect game for us to try and enforce our game onto them.
Do you feel a bit extra pressure given the predicament of having to win all the remaining 3 games?
I think all the games kind of just pose their own bits of pressure, like Steve was saying. To World Cup, every game poses that bit of pressure, and there's no easy games in the World Cup. So this game's the same for us as it was for South Africa. We've prepared well, prepared the same that we prepared for South Africa, and we were hoping that we can put out a better performance.
How have you found the whole sort of World Cup experience being in the south of France for the last 3 weeks?
I'm really happy with our base. Obviously, it's really nice in Nice. I suppose it's been a cool experience. Obviously, didn't get off to the best start in South Africa, but like I said, I want to get back on the road and with the boys and get a victory tomorrow, and feel good about ourselves after tomorrow's game.
And just finally for me, will your dad be here or will you be watching on television?
My dad will be at home. He's with my little brother at home, so I can't leave him by himself. So my mum's over here, but my dad will wake up and watch it. So I'll wait for his message after the game.
So you've got divided loyalties, or is he supporting you?
I know he's got both jerseys in the house, but I'll have to ask my little brother which one he's got on. So I'm sure he'll be going for us.
Sione, what do you make of Tonga? Obviously, you mentioned Charles Piatal, they've got players of that calibre coming back into the team. What do you make of that and how they're developing as a team?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. To see all the past players that have represented Tier 1 nations like New Zealand and Australia go back and play for the Polynesian countries, it's so special, and I think it's awesome what they're doing what it's doing for the game. You saw Fiji that beat Australia the other day, which I suppose a couple of years ago we might have thought would never be possible at a World Cup, but it's happening now, and those Polynesian teams we have to be really wary of now. And there's, like I said, no easy games, but for me personally, it's really nice to see all those guys go back and give back to these countries that have been suffering for a little bit, and it gives hope for people back home as well in those Polynesian countries to watch, really good players like Charles and that have done everything in the game go back and give back to Tonga. So it's nice.
You centre partner tomorrow, Chris Harris. I'm sure he's not enjoyed how much hype has been surrounding yourself and Hugh Jones when he's obviously desperate to be playing. But how will you and Chris complement each other?
I've played a lot of rugby with Chris. I think early days when I was getting my first couple of caps for Scotland, I was kind of playing under his wing, and to be honest, I've learned a lot from Chris from both sides of the ball, but mainly defensively. And I think Steve will probably tell you when I first got to Scotland, I was a bit of a rogue defender, and I kind of learned a little bit from Steve, and especially Chris. And he's always put his arm around me and helped me. And tomorrow I feel very comfortable with him alongside me, and we're looking to go out there and have a great performance together.
So you spoke about the great lengths your mum made to get to France. Sounded like a bit of an odyssey. After the South Africa defeat, what was her comments to you? Was she annoyed that you didn't get to win because you got so long? Yeah, it was actually quite good because my mum doesn't know anything about rugby, so she thought we all played really good after the game, and I kind of knew we didn't. So, but when I saw my mum after the game at the barricade, she was just like, "Oh, you guys all played so well," and it was refreshing. They picked me up for that little bit of 20 minutes, and then I was back to ground zero. We got on the bus, but it was nice to see my mum after that. That's what the best things about mums. They're always there to pick you up when you're feeling down, I suppose. And Rory, what was your post-South Africa experience like? How long did it take you to get over it, and what did you learn from it?
It was similar to Non's, we were gutted after the game. I think it's probably like the perfectly timed week to sort of have off. Even if we'd won that game, so much went into it in the build-up. It was all about South Africa, and it was a big game, and we put a lot into it, like I said, and to come off in the defeat, I think even if we'd won, having the week off between South Africa and Tonga would have been a good thing, because also, and they're the two most physical teams probably facing the World Cup. It was ideal that we got that week to sort of get away from it, and then since we've come back in this sort of Monday, Tuesday, it's all been about Tonga, which is nice.
Steve, there's a big game in the group tonight, South Africa, Ireland. I've been asking a lot of the boys at the press conference this week about what they want from that game.
I'm not going to answer, so you may just stop right now.
It's just no comments. It's almost
yeah, there you go. That means just stop there.
So go on, tell us, what do you want from that game? Where will you be watching? I presume you'll all be watching it.
Yeah, we'll all watch it in the hotel. We're all pretty excited. It's a massive game in the World Cup and our group. So look, it's just picking out what we can from the game and seeing obviously any trends, anything different to the game. But we know it's going to be a big physical encounter, and we're just all pretty excited to go watch it. Nothing else, that's it.
It's a louder version of no comment.
Yes, there's a lot of waffle in it for me. I'm pretty good at waffling, so I can keep you here for a longer time if I do.
Just a question for Rory. Rory, World Cup's obviously a really pressurised environment in general, but even more so when you go into these final three group games knowing that you have to perform, you have to win all, potentially on bonus points. As players, how do you deal with that, and does the pressure, does it serve as an extra fuel or motivation for you?
Probably it's motivation, yeah, but I think the thing that works for me is just focusing on the game, and there's a lot to focus on anyway. Looking at Tonga, looking at our set plays and what we have to get right at the weekend sort of does enough to occupy your mind, and if you do that, then there's not much room to think about all the added pressure.
What did you make of Tonga? Because the first 15-20 minutes against Ireland, they were staying with them, competing well at the breakdown, they won a few turnovers.
Yeah.
Then, whether it's the kind of lack of preparation, lack of leadership, started to tell, and then Ireland pulled clear. But do you expect Tonga to be better and to show more of what we saw in the first 20 minutes from them? Yeah,
definitely, and that's the thing we've looked at, as you said, they got a lot of turnovers against a side that really pride themselves on their breakdown work and are arguably one of the best in the world. So that's a massive focus point for us, getting the breakdown side of things right. That'll allow our attack to go if we sort of stack those multiple rucks, and then you know, everyone says it's kind of a key word with Tonga, it's the physicality, so that'll be the other big part of it.
Rory, I think looking back, it's exactly a year since your nasty injury against Cardiff. This weekend must have seemed a long way off at that point.
Yeah, I didn't know that was about a year ago, but yeah, it would have been. It was obviously tough at the time, and even like the sort of following months after, I didn't think that would be here. So really glad to have come back from it.
You talked about the breakdown. Obviously, South Africa had the better of that, as it tend to do against most teams. What specifically do we have to do better tomorrow?
I think a lot of it starts in just sort of the carry. Like if the first up carry is good, it allows sort of everyone to run onto it and deep clears and stuff like that. And yeah, I think it's just a massive focus point for us, and that will sort of help us constantly talking about it throughout the game. And we've had a lot of focus on it this week, so hopefully we can deliver. But you know, Tonga are good at competing there, so we'll have to be on it.
Steve, how do you keep the players sharp on such a long break?
I think it was really important to get a little bit of downtime. Families come over, so they had 2 or 3 days to digest and actually process the South Africa thing, to get it out of the system. And then we had 3 days of training where the boys were on. And I think at the end of the day, you come into a World Cup, I don't think you need to sharpen them. Everyone's spoken about you need to win games. I know it changes when you lose one, but ultimately you want to win them all. So these boys are focused. We've been looking at this tournament for such a long time, and we know we don't want it to be over. It's just making sure the boys, they've been really sharp on those physical days, and I think they're ready to play now. We've had time to digest South Africa, but also sharpen our focus and get back to where we want to be, and the boys are excited. I feel probably having that time off at the start was really good, but I think the boys are ready now to get out there and put some back-to-back performances together.
Thank you. And Rory, I suppose from the fans' point of view, they're probably a bit tired of waiting now for another match. So is the feeling a bit the same in the camp now? Like you must be raring to go.
Yeah, it is a weird one. You know, I said like it's almost perfectly timed that week off, but it's one of those ones when you lose, you do want to get back out straight away. It's come to it now. Yeah, we're just buzzing to get back out there. And hopefully, as Non said earlier, put the World Cup back on track for us. You know, regardless of what happens tonight, all our focus is on tomorrow, and then fire into the next 2 games after that.
Are you looking forward to tonight's game as well?
Yeah. Quite late though. I might be in my bed.
Half time.
Rory, we've asked a few of this, but he's not starting to be up against one of your Glasgow Warriors back row teammates when he comes on. Can you say a bit about the other Sione and what he's going to present when he does come on?
Yeah, it'll be a weird one playing against him. Obviously, played a lot with him this season, and it's class playing with him. Like you see him taking the boys forward in his ball carries and getting us on the front foot, but also a lot of the defence work he does is outstanding. So, you know, towards the end of the game, obviously he's on the bench, as you said, when he's coming on, I think everyone might just sort of pick up a bit around the breakdown, watch him picking through the ruck and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be cool to play against him.
We've got time for one more question, if there are any. I can see one here in the front row.
Is it Finn's birthday today?
I think so.
Yes.
Yes,
it is. Yeah, Finn's birthday. I got a cake in my bag. Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything, are you boys planning anything? Can you plan something before a big game tomorrow? Is there much that you can do? Apart from, not like throwing a party, but is there anything going on at all?
Oh, you'd have to ask these boys. I'm out of that loop. I'm definitely out of that. No, I think the boys will relax, and I'm sure there'll be something on and around that with a small gesture, but yeah, it'll be a focus on tomorrow, but the boys will want to stay relaxed as well today.
Okay.
I know.
Not me.
On that, then we'll wrap things up. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
Good luck.